Yeah. That's the shout out to Ed Memphis at Business Square. That's where you can follow me at on Twitter at BIDNESSSQUARE at Business Square on Twitter. On Instagram, you can follow me at Man on the Square. That's on IG. You can follow me at Man on the Square. MANTHESQUARE. Again, Twitter is at Business Square. We about to get this here jumping off, baby. I'm a little tongue tied up a little bit. It's all good. You know what I mean? We about to get into this recap of last night's game. The Memphis Grizzlies took another L in Memphis, losing to the New Jersey Nets. And man, at this point, it's looking pretty bad. You don't know. They made a trade recently, and they got a trade coming in right now. The guy that they traded for was Justin Holiday, and they actually gave up Wayne Selden, as well as they gave up Marshawn Brooks, along with the 2019 and a 2020 second round draft picks in exchange for Justin Holiday. So Justin Holiday is a good player, solid, decent all kind of two-way guy. He's not an all-around guy. He's a two-way player. He's a three. He's pretty much mostly three catch and shoot three-pointer guy on offense. Though he shoots at about 36% from three, so it's not too bad. That means he's a capable three-point shooter. And on defense, he's a pretty good defender. He's a pretty good defender. So we got to make sure that we get him the minutes coming in, man, because we're going to need, if anything, knowing the Grizzlies, it was another bargain being moved, so I can't imagine them making another move just because they just don't strike me as the most ambitious organization. They not. Let's just keep it honest. Robert Perry is not very ambitious with that team. Some will argue, well, he's right at the luxury tax. He's only like $500,000 away from the luxury tax, so he's obviously somewhat ambitious. He's spending money. That's true, but then also Robert Perry knows he had to spend money, and he was going to just be hemorrhaging money in losses if he had to, because if you don't, you got to spend big money in a small market, and that's just a hope you can get to the playoffs. Albeit the situation the Grizzlies in right now, they're a team that's just hoping to get to the playoffs. So you got to be a team willing to spend money, folks. So Justin Holiday move, it might move the needle a little bit, but it's not going to really change the total dynamic of the team. Justin Holiday is not a big personality. He's a really quiet guy. He's cool, laid back. So his personality is not going to come in the locker room and have a Tony Allen effect. That's not happening. So that's for that reason. That's why I say the Grizzlies really need to quit BS. And they're going to have to figure out they don't have any draft picks, because our pick this year, unless we make the playoffs or land a top 5 pick or something like that, the pick is going to go to it's going to the Boston Celtics, Danny Ainge Swifters. They got our first round pick this year for Deontay Davis and Roddy Zachary, who Zachary never even stepped on the NBA court in the regular season game. He didn't make it past the first preseason. He was cut. We ain't seen him since. So that goes to show you, and Deontay Davis, 2 years later, is not even in the league no more. So that goes to show you right there that that first round pick was flushed down the toilet pretty much unless we make the playoffs this year. And the way we've been free falling the last 20, 21 games, man. It's looking rough, brother. It's looking pretty rough, man. We're going to have to really make some noise, man. We're going to have to really change up some stuff. This team, for one, JB Bickerstaff's got to get over himself, man. You got to quit playing Shelvin Mack like this, man. It's just like, oh, my God. He came in the game again last night and did nothing. Nothing. No contributions, man. He might have hit a bucket or something. He did. He hit a bucket or two. I remember. But it was basically nothing. It was basically nothing. And I'm gonna dig into this. This is why I'm glad that we're talking about this. Let me get this right away on the gap. One of the problems that the Memphis Grizzlies are having is a lack of ball movement, right, on offense. It's a lack of consistent ball movement. But I beg to go deeper in depth in with that issue to say that we don't really have a great passer. A passer, when I say a great passer is one who can create shots for others via passing to the point where he makes players a little better than they probably are. He raises other players' games up offensively via his passing. That's a great passer. Mike Conley is not a great passer. And I know y'all be like, man, this guy must hate Mike Conley. You know what I'm saying? Every time he do a video, every time he do a podcast, every time he do a tweet, anytime he do an article, it's dissing Mike Conley. I'm not dissing Mike Conley. I like Mike Conley game. I watched Mike Conley when he was 18 years old. To watch him come from 18 years old. I was watching Mike Conley when he first began college because he was at Ohio State with I think it was Daquan Cook and Greg Oden. So I've been watching Mike Conley for, before I even knew he was going to become a Grizzly. And I remember when he was just a generic ball handler. He didn't have any moves or anything. He was just raw and timid. But he was always very athletic and smart and as far as being able to know when to pump his brakes and apply his brakes, apply full pressure. So Mike Conley, I like Mike Conley, man. Mike's really skilled. However, I mean, he's elite skill. He is an elite skilled player when it comes to ball handling, finishing at the rim, his shooting form. He has his three-point shot is pretty good money. He doesn't shoot it enough. And we'll get to that later. The team doesn't shoot threes enough. And that's an issue, too. That just shows you they don't get enough spacing. But despite having a lot of guys that can space the court on this roster. So Mike Conley's issue is Mike Conley's just not really a true. He's a solid, he's a decent passer, decent to solid, but he is not Rajon Rondo or Jason Kidd or John Stockton or Magic Johnson or not by any stretch of the imagination. He's just not a great passer. I don't even know if I could call him a really good passer. I couldn't even really call him a good passer, to be honest with you. He's solid, which is pretty much good. He's somewhere in there. He's somewhere in between decent and solid. I don't know if he's even quite solid a passer. The reason why I say that is because Mike Conley averages Mike Conley averages the lowest amount of assists amongst any starter in the NBA since he has been a starter. So since Mike Conley has been a starter, Mike Conley is amongst the lowest in assists per game of any starting point guard since he has been in the league. So that means, in other words, let's translate that statistic into English. In other words, Mike Conley is one of the below average starting point guard passers. Passing wise, pure passer, he's kind of on the average mark at best. He's average at best as a starting point guard as far as passing. That's one of the issues. That's a reason why guys don't ever really develop playing around Mike Conley. People say it's a development issue. And they say the Grizzlies have a problem developing. And now that I just thought about this, I'm actually getting ready. I'm gonna write a piece on this for BillStreetBears.com. You can catch the article on BillStreetBears.com, or you can just catch me on the Twitter, which is gonna still be on BillStreetBears.com. But you can go to my Twitter and catch the link. Again, my Twitter is at Business Square. That's at BIDNESSSQUARE at Business Square on Twitter. That's where you can follow me at. So anyway, again, to make that point clear on Conley, I mean, just being quite honest with you, he's an average at best point guard as far as passing, pure passer. Now, all around, just overall, his overall rating, Mike Conley's a hell of a player. He's one of the best players in the league. He's definitely not top 25. top 50. I don't even know if I'll put him in that. He might be top 50, maybe, but I'm not sure about that. I would have to look at the guys the other 49. So with that being said, I just don't see. That's the problem. A lot of people haven't been willing to accept that. Man, we are struggling to develop talent, also to keep consistent ball movement and have a high offensive output because we don't have a point guard for that. Our point guard is a floor general, but that doesn't mean he's a great passer. Being a floor general does not make you a great passer. A floor general is a guy who can direct traffic on the court and lead the team offensively. But that doesn't mean leading the team is going to get you 15 assists or going to help somebody else get 25 who normally is really only good for about 15 points. So if he's only good for about 15 points, Mike Conley is not the point guard that's going to help him get 25 every night. That's not the Mike Conley type of point guard, essentially is what I'm trying to say. If you average 10 points a game and you playing next to Mike Conley, and if you was already averaging 10 points per game and you get traded to a team with Mike Conley starting at point guard, you're going to pretty much average about 10, 11 points a game. So when you might average a point more, but depending on the point guard you was playing with before Mike, you might average, 1 or 2, 3 points more, depending on how bad the point guard you played with before Mike. But essentially, you're not gonna play any much better than you were playing next to Mike Conley. Mike Conley is a all-around guy. He's good at everything. He's good at steals defensively, but he's not a great defender. He's good offensively as a scorer. Only thing I would say Mike Conley is truly elite at is his skill set. And that's what bothers me so much about him. Mike Conley has skills to be an all-star legit or even be a superstar, I would go as far as to say. But Mike Conley, I don't know if Mike Conley was built to be that. I don't know if he has the body to hold up, to contribute on a superstar level consistently and be able to stay on the court and be healthy. Because it's one thing to put up 20, but if it's killing you to put up 20 points, then I don't know if 20 points is the best thing for you to be doing. You might need to just average 10 to 12 points, or maybe 15. But if it's killing you to average 20 points a game, that's an issue. And right now, to be honest with you, the metrics and the statistics argue Mike Conley shoot less than his effective field goal percentage is under 50%. It's like 46, 44 for some, which is not good. That means he's not efficient, with his outside of the three-point, even take the three-point line away, he's still not an efficient player this season. He's shooting overall 39-40% from the field, give or take somewhere in there, 41%, maybe 40%. He's a 40% this season shooter from the field. That's not good. That shows me that it's a challenge for you to score 20 points a game. To say the least, it's a challenge. So that's another issue with Mike Conley. People don't realize it's not easy for him to score 20-25 a night this year. Now, if he was scoring 20-25 a night at a 45 to 50% clip, that's totally different. That says, hey, he can easily get these. He gets buckets. It might be a little bit of a challenge, but for the most part, he's a smooth top tier talent. That hasn't been the case with Mike Conley yet, and that's the issue. And then when you look at it, my issue with that is, okay, we can get away with that. That's fine. You can get away with that. If you had a backup point guard who was a really good to great passer, even if he didn't do nothing else, you needed a point guard with that particular skill set at that level. It doesn't need to just be decent or solid. If you already have a point guard who is not necessarily a great passer, and I don't care what nobody says, all the evidence points to that being the case with Mike Conley. He's not a great passer. He's a decent to solid starting point guard passer. Starting passing point guard. As a passer, whatever. So with that being said, that's an issue, and it showed last night. Last night, Mike Conley just couldn't get other guys going. He just couldn't. And that's the same issue a lot of times. He can't get Jaren Jackson going. A lot of times it doesn't seem like he cares to. I've noticed that too about Mike Conley. To be totally honest with you, Mike is one who doesn't like to be outshined. I noticed the first game that Javon Carter debuted. I noticed when after a few possessions, that very first game that Javon Carter played, after he played a few possessions and made a few positive contributions, was looking really good in a little bitty spark of the time he had got at first. When he first came to when the ball first stopped, when they first got a timeout and they went to the bench, I noticed the way Mike was talking to him was like he's more forced to talk to him, but he doesn't really care to. I noticed it. I picked up on it. I pick up on everything. I pick up on everything. I picked up on how originally Marc Gasol, you can tell he wasn't too thrilled about Joakim Noah coming on the team because he knew that was taking minutes away from him. And I kind of understand that from Marc. I understand it too because Marc needs to be fresh. We need Marc to stay fresh. We can't burn Marc out. And we already didn't have any other center on the roster other than Jaren Jackson. And Jaren Jackson needs to be playing the 4 or whatever, anything. So he can play the 5, but we need him right now to be scoring at the 4 with Marc. So we needed to get somebody who can come in and breathe and relieve Marc. And Joakim Noah was it. And I noticed Marc wasn't too thrilled about that originally. But I have definitely noticed that about Mike Conley for years, brother. I don't care what nobody say. You call me crazy, say I'm being unprofessional, I'm being disrespectful, I'm being absurd, whatever. I'm not being disrespectful. All I am simply saying is I have noticed that Mike Conley does not take well to someone else having nearly equal talent to him at the same position he is, which is point guard. If you playing the point and you come to a team Mike Conley on and your talent level is somewhere near his, he ain't gonna take well to that. He never has. Never has. And I know people like, what's the point of me telling that? That's an issue. It's a clearly issue because we're not really able to get the talented pieces that we really need to get because they always a threat to Mike Conley. Mike Conley takes any point guard that's nearly as talented as he is, he takes him as a threat. He's been doing that since he first came in the league. That's why we had to get rid of Kyle Lowry. That's one of the reasons why we had to get rid of Marcus Williams. The other was he just didn't take his opportunity as serious as he needed to, so he gave them an easy out, Marcus Williams. But Marcus Williams was another point guard who was nearly as talented as Mike was, but in different ways. He was more of an all-around triple-double threat type of point guard and more of a better passer than Mike. But he was not as gifted as Mike is as a scorer nor an athlete. He was nowhere near the athlete Mike Conley is. I will say that about Mike Conley versus Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams of UConn back in the day. This old Mike, it's old talk. So, Mike just hasn't taken well to that. I don't care. People can say what they want. It's the truth. It's the truth. And it's showing, man. It's showing. This team needs talent. Like, I'm looking at the situation right now, and Mike is just not getting Jaren Jackson going, my brother. It is on Mike and JB to get this man going. It's JB's job to create an offense that features Jaren Jackson heavily, and it's also Mike Conley's job as the leader, the floor general, and the one nurturing, curating, and developing our next generation talent to make sure that we get this boy going. That's what Mike Conley is failing to do. He does not do a good job of getting other guys going consistently. He'll have some nights where he gonna get 11 assists. He did it a few nights ago. Did it last night. He put up bunkers assists for like 10, 11 assists. But that's not consistent. That's not something you're going to get every day from Mike Conley. And that's my issue with him. So that's the thing, folks. And